Hey, what's up, guys? So, sorry I'm a little bit late there. I was making myself a drink. The importance of staying hydrated, hey? So, how is everyone? Hope you're all good. Hey, Flop. Bears are fucked. Hopefully. That's what we're going to take a look at tonight. Good evening, Stike. How are you? Hope you're good, bro. Alright. Start. There we go. Chat wasn't coming up on my end properly there. Sorted it now. Lol. I actually got a blister at the top of my mouth from pizza yesterday. I blame my wife and Pizza Hut. Yeah, it can be a bit painful. Alright, so should we get into this? So, in terms of Bitcoin itself, there isn't really much going on. Like, not a lot's changed. I think we're through the worst of the dip. I do. Remains to be seen, obviously, at the minute. So on the daily, we're still just staying above this uptrend here, just about, and it's holding relatively well on the 4 hour. Okay, so obviously I'm watching this inverted head and shoulders here. Primarily, if you didn't know, an inverted head and shoulders appears at the bottom of a downtrend, which, I'd say we're, at the bottom of a downtrend there. Hopefully that's the end of it. But it also signifies the start of a bull run. Okay, inverted head and shoulders are actually quite important for that. So we already had confirmation that the pattern is valid by reaching out on this candle here where it broke out above the neckline. Okay, now it did come back down below the neckline here, but that's perfectly fine. Okay, it doesn't invalidate an inverted head and shoulders. It weakens it a little bit to the strength of the signal, so it's not as strong as it should be, but it's not invalidated. Okay, but what we do have to watch, that isn't so glaringly obvious, but is right there. Let me show you. Where can I find shapes? I can never find them when I want them. Come on. There we go. Triangle. Okay. We've effectively got a wedge here. Okay. An ascending triangle. Now, forget the head and shoulders for a minute. We've got an ascending wedge. Okay. Now, in my experience, pretty much every ascending wedge I've looked at for the last year has always broke to the downside. Okay, so we have to be mindful of further down. Now, I have been saying since the end of February actually that we're probably going to hit 73 or 68,000, somewhere around that region. Okay, I've been saying that since the end of February. Now, the last week, I've been saying that we've hit the bottom because of this inverted head and shoulders. Okay, so this last week, I'm in a bit of a pickle here because one side I'm like suddenly changed bullish because this inverted head and shoulders has shown up, but then at the same time, I'm like, wow, we could come back down to 68. So 68 is shown here on the weekly. Okay, 68,333. It's on the 0.5 Fibonacci. It's also a level of support. Okay, so we've got good confluence there, and it also follows along the uptrend. So this is why I'm saying 68,000 is a possibility. Okay, because it is. Sorry, excuse my stutter. It is a possibility. Okay, and it could happen. I'm not saying it will. It could. So you have to be mindful of that. Okay. Now, on the daily, okay, On the daily, as long as we continue this uptrend now, we should be good. So we've had a little blip of red here. Okay, so let's see if this continues. Okay, the 4 hour shows that we've got strength. Okay, the daily, the same pattern is there. Okay, for the ascending wedge. So we've got to be mindful. Okay, as much as I am bullish, I mean, I'll show you my positions. I don't have anything to hide. I play with a small port because you should never play with anything more than what you're willing to risk. Okay, so currently, like I always 200 times and 400 times max leverage wherever I can, because leverage really doesn't matter, guys. Okay, and then obviously it's kind of, these are my positions. I'm long on everything right now. Okay, so I'm in it as well. I'm not just here saying to people like, you know, that we're turning around this, that, and the other. I'm actually in it, so I've got skin in the game as well. You know, probably not as much as some people, but hey, you know, everyone's portfolio and everyone's risk tolerance, it's all different. Okay, it doesn't matter about how much money you got in the game. It's about your trades and the setups that you're taking. Okay, that's what should matter. So yeah, I mean, my indicators have flipped. So like we've suddenly gone bullish, and we're in an uptrend and in accumulation on the 4 hour. Okay, so my indicators. Okay, these aren't indicators that I've got from anyone else. So I've got Crypto Hub and Night Rangers. Okay, I created both of these. Crypto Hub's obviously for Crypto Hub members, but that's been took off the marketplace at the minute on TradingView, so you can't get that, but you can get Night Rangers indicator. Okay, which gives you this little GUI up the top right here. Now that's Bitcoin in a nutshell, but we need to look at other things as well. So we need to look at the total market cap. Okay, I haven't looked at this since you guys. It's very similar on the weekly to how Bitcoin is. Okay, see it? It's very similar. Okay, so on the weekly, it's clearly in a bearish downtrend still. You know, you can't argue that. Let's put that across, and let's put that as bearish downtrend. That'll do, rather than bullish and bearish. Haha. Okay. Okay. So keep that as well, downtrend. Okay. Now look at this, right? I think I've drawn this either my last stream before that, maybe even the one before. Like I drawn this trend, and it's come down and it's bounced straight off it. Okay, so this is the importance of knowing where to draw your lines and how to draw them. Okay, now the important thing here is every time it's bounced off, like it might have retested it, but every time it's come off this, we've had a reaction. Okay, we've had a reaction. So now we bounced off this, so we might come back down and retest it. That will probably take us down to 76, 73k, which would be nice. But we're looking at a reaction after, hopefully, like take us to new all-time highs. That would be nice, wouldn't it? You know, I mean, I marked up here. Let's have a look. Yeah, that's just giant support. Let me actually change that to support so we know what it is. Okay, that support is that whole top half of last year's range highs. Okay, we're not interested below that because that's kind of the average low for the floor. Might get a wick, but I doubt it. Okay, I mean, well, look, we've had the wick. So at the minute, we're just kind of ranging, which is okay. You know, the market's just trying to decide. Now, Bitcoin dominance is growing. Look on the weekly. Okay. So on the weekly. Now, what we have to watch is a potential double top here on the weekly. Okay, let me mark that as a double top roughly. Okay, so because it's come up, then it's come down, it's come back up, and so far it seems to be flipping. Now we've got 6 days for this week. Okay, this is on the weekly. 6 days. Okay, can it stay above? If we stay above, great. If not, then we've got a potential double top, but we won't know till next week, guys, for that one. The daily, let's have a look. Winner. Yeah, it didn't quite blast off there, did it? Unfortunately. Okay. But look, we've got the resistance marked there. Again, every time it's sort of hit this sort of level, it's rejected. So let me delete that. Let me mark this up a second, because this is primarily resistance. Okay, we need to break through that at the minute on the daily. Let me just throw that calculator over there a second. I mean, we are in an uptrend on dominance, so that's good. Dominance is growing on Bitcoin, guys. Whether we like to admit it or not, and that's been going up since 3rd of December. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, I mean, 2nd of February on the 4 hour, it's really took off. Okay, so I was expecting it to break downwards, and in some ways we have. It's broken out down here, so this should be support. Let me just flick that. Okay, so if we lose the support here, Bitcoin dominance is going down. Okay, that's good. Now I think I've shown this last stream, probably, maybe stream before. In the last couple of streams anyway, I've shown that the bearish dominance is actually really good, because it means like if money starts coming out of Bitcoin, hopefully it will flow into the alts, but we won't actually know until it happens. Okay, but I'm bullish for a bearish dominance. I had to think about how I was going to say that then. All right, let's have a look. Okay, futures. Let's have a look. So we come down and we filled this gap here. That was great. Amazing to see. 77.9. Again, filled it there. Now, look, this was on the weekly, so this was almost a given that it was going to happen on the weekly, that we come down and fill. Okay, it's almost a given. Right, now on the daily, we've got this one at 70 to 75, which fits in with the fair value gap here, lower, at 74 to 70. Okay, now as much as I'm eyeing that, I'm also expecting that to potentially just stay there now until bear season. Okay, just because there is a gap, it doesn't mean it's going to go fill that gap. Okay, I would say though that the higher the time frame, if there's a gap on a larger time frame, then it's going to act like a magnet. Okay, so the weekly trumps the daily. Okay, and as you can see, we come down, we filled it, we double filled it just to make sure it was gone, and then we rejected. Okay, so again, we're now back on an uptrend from here. Okay, let's have a look. I mean, this is going to be exactly the same as the Bitcoin chart. I can't see anything different here. That there's a gap here, but that's already been filled, which is interesting actually. Let me mark this up. Okay, it's only a tiny gap, so it would have been really easy to fill. No problem at all. I'll mark it as a FVG. Same thing. It's a gap. I should just change that to gap rather than FVG or CME, shouldn't I? I'm going to pull that across a little bit. So we've already filled that, and now we're retesting the top of it. Okay. Hopefully it turns into support. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Let's go. Yeah, but I can't really see anything. Nothing's standing out at me here. I mean, there's a gap here. But no, I mean that's pretty much been filled. It's just got that little nip on the end. Like that's it. That's all that needs to be filled. So I wouldn't even say that's got much weight. So I'm not even going to emphasize it. This one's all been filled. So yeah. Okay. USDT dominance. Let's have a look. As I said, guys, it's bounced off. Okay, that's good. Okay, that gives Bitcoin a little bit of breathing room. Okay, now obviously either what would I expect here? I'd either expect it to come down and either break off, okay, and come back down, or continue back upwards. But either way, I'm expecting it to come to this midpoint on the channel. Okay, one thing here, we've got some pretty clear support. Okay, just there. So we could range across that support line till we get to the midpoint before we see a reaction. So that's probably by the end of this week. Okay, we could just range sideways to the end of the week. I don't really see us dropping below, to be honest. But I would be interested to see what happens on the next move up. So at some point this week, we're going to expect a movement. Okay. I can't do better than that because that's just what the chart says. You know, we've broken out of that uptrend. We've gone sideways. So what I mean by that, look, just there, you see. So we flipped it. So now we're going sideways. So while we're going sideways along that support, who knows what could happen? USDT dominance could drop, which will be amazing relief for a lot of us because that's going to push everything up. Okay. Oh, sorry, 1 second. I'm getting a couple messages on Discord. Nothing important. Legit. Thanks, babe. Wow. Don't know how to say that. All right. GG. Right. Anyway. So this is a whole area of unknown right now for dominance. So we've got resistance here. Okay. Because that's the most recently tested. And then it's just, yeah. So we could just range sideways. Who knows? I'd be interested. I'm more interested seeing how Bitcoin plays out. Everything I'm looking at the minute, we're in an uptrend. Long term, short term, we're in an uptrend. Mid term, we're in a downtrend. Okay. Market cap, we need to break out of 62%. Hopefully for Bitcoin, we need to break to the upside. Market cap dominance. Okay. For altcoins, we want to break to the downside. CME futures uptrend. It all depends what USDT wants to do right now, guys. Okay. Does USDT want to drop? Okay. I mean, what would be painful is if USDT drops and Bitcoin dominance drops. Okay. Actually, no, that wouldn't be painful. That would be good for alts. If they both drop at the same time, it should be good for alts. Okay. Now, if Bitcoin dominance rises, USDT drops, Bitcoin's going to pump. Alts aren't really going to do that well. We'll see. So yeah, there isn't really much change, guys. I can't say much on this. And I think it's like this across the whole market at the minute. I've noticed, like, I'm in quite a few discords, and I noticed all across them, and analysts in general are pretty quiet right now. Okay, so they're waiting for the movement. There's a couple analysts like myself that are like still trying to update and help you all stay aware and whatnot of what's going on with the charts. Not so much with the news. I don't do news. News is a load of nonsense. But with the charts anyway. But then the analysts that generally give signals, actual buy-sell signals, I've noticed that they've been quite slow at the minute, waiting for the setups, which is a good thing, to be honest, because it shows that they're being responsible. They don't just want to throw out any old crap out there and, hey, you want a signal, okay, go do this and throw your money away. That's no good, but it shows undecisiveness across the market as a whole, is what I'm getting at. When the signals are slow, it's because people don't know which way the market's going to go. And people don't know which way the market's going to go because, hey, look at Bitcoin. It gave us a bullish inverted head and shoulders, but it's also put it right inside an ascending wedge. Okay, now an ascending wedge, let me Google this. I'm pretty sure it is bearish. Let's have a look. Okay, the people rising wedge. No, maybe it's not actually called. Is it a wedge? No. Ascending triangle pattern. Let me have a look. I could be getting my names mixed up here, guys. Okay, so yeah, on here it says they're bullish. Okay, this is what we're looking at. Look, apparently breakout to the upsides is bullish. Okay, so if that's true, then what more confirmation do we need? We've got the inverted head and shoulders, and then that wedge, which is saying bullish. But in my opinion, from what I've seen over the last year or so, generally those wedges play out bearish in crypto. So yeah, do your own research and make your own assumption on that one, guys, because I'm going against what the pattern says. Oh. Right, anyway, let's have a look at Sol. Now, back at the end of February, I said it was going to 128. Still currently 129. Colane's got his buying power here at $100. If it hits $100, Colane's going to lap it all up. He's going to set his dog on it. Right. Let's have a look. I mean, it does look like, here, support there, 113. It bounced straight off. What was my... Yeah. I did set a long here, by the way, and it failed miserably. Broke to the downside. My stop loss too tight. That's what it is. It happens. It's one of the reasons why I don't like futures, to be honest. You either have enough money to make decent money, or you don't have enough money to even be able to get a decent position. So that's my honest thoughts on futures. I kind of got to just chuckle on that. But yeah, I mean, at the minute, it's still broken out of this downtrend, but there's a similar sort of pattern to what Bitcoin has, with the ascending triangle. I wouldn't put any weight behind that though. But I mean, it has been sort of ranging. That's, you know, that's a range there. It's not an uptrend, it's not a downtrend, it's a range. So we'll see how that plays out. I'm going to delete that for now because that's hideous. I'm hoping like we can just get out 200-day bearish on them all. ADA is so just that. We're still in an uptrend. Just, you know, that downtrend was horrific, wasn't it? Like, look at that. It did like a 90% pump in a day. And then it just like died over the next couple. I mean, it didn't die. ADA's not dead. It's not going anywhere. I'm holding Cardano long time. I do like it. You know, I think it's got a lot of potential. Just wish the price would move. It's like a dead cat sometimes, just doesn't move. You know, as these little bounces. That's probably just where someone's trying to kick it along the pavement. You know what I mean? That's probably a bad analogy. Sorry. And then we got Ave. Let's have a look. So, I mean, we can still tweak these a little bit. I don't like tweaking to suit me, but I mean, it's still technically an uptrend. You know. It did break out here, so I'm curious to see how it behaves right now. Yeah. And then Brett, I've actually got this position going right now. But yeah, I mean that, like everything to me at the minute is sort of pushing up. So I think it's kind of turned. You got this slope forming in the bearish. Yeah. So I don't think it's going to go instantly up like that, but I think we're pretty much at the bottom. So yeah, I mean, ultimately, like that's my thoughts at the minute. There isn't a lot going on. There's not a lot to update. Not a lot's changed. We're still within these range periods, so there's nothing major that we can really shout about. Like, oh, look at this, we're going. We do need to break that resistance on Bitcoin. It's quite heavy for what it is, if you ask me. But yeah. All right, anyway. As you all know, my streams are very much oriented around you guys. So if you've got any questions, anything you want to ask, anything you want to know, now is your chance. Otherwise, I'm probably going to hop, skip, and doodle out of here for tonight. All right, cool. No worries. You know, it's one of them. I'm not expecting many questions anyway because the market's pretty quiet. But hey, on that note, I'm going to love and leave you all. And yeah, feel free to hit me up if you've got any questions, guys. All right, peace out.